how are you today? Welcome to our site. One of the first things I'm going to ask you to do is to sign in on our sign-in sheet. What I will need is your name. If you have taken the online safety course, you are now getting the online safety orientation. I will need an emergency contact name and number and the company that you are working with. Once you do that, ma'am, I will ask you to grab a hard hat, if you do not have one, to put your name on the front and the back using tape and marker, which we have off to the side. Once you get those two done, we have hammers, we have aprons, and we have gloves available. So we please ask you to gear up with that as well. If you need safety shoes, we have those available in our trailers. We ask that you just leave your shoes in the trailer. This way, at the end of the day, you don't just get into your vehicle and leave with our shoes. Thank you so much, and you will have fun today. So,
thank you.
Ma'am. Welcome. Thank you for coming out here today. Thank you for spending your time and energy out here on the site today. What we are going to do is go over our safety orientation for the site. What I'm going to do is the general orientation for the whole site procedure. Once we get into the job specifics, then our site supervisors will give you the exact procedures for those jobs. But when you are out here today, even though you are volunteering, you are still considered a worker under the Manitoba Workplace Health and Safety Act. That means you have all the rights and responsibilities of workers. That is the right to know about the hazards on the job site, the right to participate in health and safety on the job site, the right to refuse dangerous work at any time, and the right to work without being subjected to discriminatory action. Some of the hazards that we are going to be facing today and on any job site that we have, we will be working from heights today. What I mean by working from heights, we are going to be working off the scaffolding, and we will have some built-in scaffolding as we get around the stairwell openings if we get over to that area. Those heights and everything else, if you are uncomfortable while you are working at those heights, please let our site supervisors know. This way we don't put you in any situation that you do not feel comfortable in. If you are starting to work up there already and you feel that you are becoming disoriented or anything else like that, again, please let our site supervisors know. When we're out here today, some of the other hazards we are going to be facing, we are going to be doing a lot of heavy lifting. We are going to be moving a lot of material. If that material is too heavy for you to move by yourself, please get a second person to help you move that material. If you can't do it with 2 people, get 3 or 4 people to help you. Whatever it takes to make sure that you walk out of here the same way you walked in. That is 2 feet, 2 arms, 10 fingers, 10 toes, 2 eyes. If we do that today, then have you walk out of here like that, we have done our jobs. What happens on the site is secondary to getting you home safely, but we do expect work to be done today, so you can't slack off, sorry. We will be using ladders on our job site. With ladders on our job sites, they are a 2-person rule. That means if a person is working on the ladder, a secondary person is holding that ladder to make sure it doesn't go anywhere, it doesn't slip, slide, or come out. Holding the ladder doesn't mean you're holding it with one hand, looking around, talking to people. It is 2 hands, 2 feet against the bottom of the ladder rails. If you have to, go to the inside of the ladder and hold the ladder with your weight to make sure that it doesn't move as people are going up and down it. But with the person holding the ladder, they do have a secondary job. That secondary job is to make sure the person working off of the ladder is working between the 2 rails. If they start moving off to the side to nail something, it is your responsibility to say, come down, let's move the ladder, let's reposition it so you work safely on the job site. We have power tools on our job site. Even though you may use them in your personal life, we ask that you refrain from using them out here unless you have been properly trained by our staff. We have to do our due diligence to make sure that everybody is trained and if they are competent to use the tools. If you want to learn how to use the tools, if we have a need, please ask the site supervisor and we will take the time to train you how to use them. This way you can use them in your personal life as you are doing it. When we're out here today, we ask that you do a couple things for us as well as for yourself. One, make sure that you keep an eye on your fellow volunteers to make sure that they are doing things in a safe, proper manner. Also, make sure our staff is doing things in a safe, proper manner. If they are doing something that you think is wrong, ask them about it and ask them, okay, is this the proper way to do it? They are fallible, just like everybody else. We don't want any accidents out on the job site. When it comes out to heat today, we have a humidex factor of 35. Once it hits that humidex factor, we are going to send our volunteers home. A lot of volunteers are not used to being out on the job sites in the warm weather, but with that being said, it is in your own best interest that we do that. Once we start hitting 35 and above, we have to put in special procedures out on the job site, extra breaks, more water and stuff like that. But starting early, our guys are going to be telling you to drink water, drink fluids, and everything else. When the end of the day, I want to see at least 4 of the 5-gallon jugs empty today. That is 20 gallons of water. You may not feel that you need it on days like this, but when you are working, you actually forget about drinking water. And that's why I'm saying, keep an eye out for yourself and the fellow volunteers out here. We do have towels available to soak. They are over here on the right-hand side for right now, but we have those available. What we have to do is just take half a jug of this water, put it in a bucket, grab a towel, put it around your head, put it over your head, put your hard hat back on, or anything else like that to cool yourself down. If you at any time feel that you are getting dizzy, just go in the shade, take a break. Talk to the site supervisor if you are feeling really bad. If we have any medical emergencies out here, our staff is trained to handle medical emergencies. If it is something that they cannot handle, we will bring in the professionals, make sure that you get the proper care that you deserve. If you have a minor cut or if you have a splinter, we have in our trailers our safety boxes. In there, that is where you will find the first aid kit, you will find the fire extinguisher, emergency eye wash, you will find copies of our safe work procedures, and you will find copies of the Manitoba Workplace Health and Safety Act. What those books do is they tell you how to do things the proper way according to the province of Manitoba. And the second one is how we do things our way, interpreting those laws. If you have any questions though about what we are doing on our job site, just ask our site supervisor. Why do we build at 24 Inchland Center? Why do we sit there and do this? Why are we doing that? They will be happy to explain to you, because unlike a lot of other builders, we do build differently than those contractors out there. If you look in the basement, you'll see it's a different setup than what our regular construction is. We do not do slab concrete, we do floating wooden floors. And our site supervisors and our staff will explain that later on as the day progresses. If we have to evacuate our job site, the muster point will be explained during the orientation in the morning. For this case, it is the firehouse beforehand, but in other job sites, please ask your site supervisor where that muster point is. What we do once we get to the muster point, we will take the sign-in sheets that everybody has signed in on earlier in the morning and call your name off. If you do not answer, we are going to assume that you are in whatever has happened on the job site and send in the required personnel to look for you. If at any time you have to leave before the end of the day, we ask that you do 2 things. Number 1, let the site supervisor know that you are not going to be here for the rest of the day. Number 2, find the sign-in sheet and put a single line through your name. This way, at a glance, our site supervisors know that you are not here on the job site. Again, this is a general orientation of the job site. For the site-specific workload, you will be instructed by your site supervisors. Is there any questions that's going to be with what we have just gone over? If there's no questions, then we will turn you over to our site supervisor and he will explain the jobs, split you up into different teams, and get your day started. Thank you.
Thanks. That's good.